Well, well.
Hello, welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Cirrus over there.
No.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Cirrus
Well,
is playing Fortnite or something.
probably.
Something killing Ned Flanders. I don't know.
He said hi diddly ho neighbor, and I took that personally.
Yeah, so you're talking on your stream about Zoran Mondani, and I guess you had the quartering. You were responding to the quartering. Oh, we got a hats. Conton, thanks for the hats. You get the flower hat. Remember, we are raising money for charity. So instead of giving money to me this time, go to donate.vicerhino.com to give money to Project Share. They're a great charity. They do lots of good stuff. As always, if we raise $500 on the stream, I will put on the Rhino onesie. So if we get to $26.55, Rhino onesie comes on. And I thought about doing a fun thing where every $100 raised, I will answer like an embarrassing question or something, but nobody asked me any questions on Blue Sky. Probably my fault for not thinking to ask for that until like an hour ago.
Until like right before you needed to do it.
It's like, hey, I should probably come up with a gimmick to raise money. But yeah, no, we do get little you get a spot to like type a thing that I can see in here. Right now we got most people are talking about the Sexy Rat Pack. Because the Sexy Rat Pack was donating. So if you're in the sexy, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you need to watch my videos.
That said, if we can get that link in my video or on my end as well, that way we can have that pinned for everybody. That would be fantastic.
I put it on my side. I closed your window.
Oh.
Because I didn't want there to be an echo.
Well, thank you for closing my window. It's kind of cold.
Yeah, one of the windows in one of our kids' rooms turned out like the window was closed, but you know how like the latches in the corner, you can take it out and pull it down to like wipe the outside of the window without having to climb up your house.
Sure.
One of those was just like a little bit loose, and so we were like, why is there a gust of wind coming into your bedroom? Okay, I have pasted the link in your chat. So yeah, that was fun. We had a cold child. Yeah, so every $100, if you put a question in with your thing, I will probably answer it, unless it is something whose answer, well, you know what? I will answer the question. I just can't guarantee the answer will be true. Like, if you ask for my credit card number, I will answer your question. I just will not answer it truthfully. And apparently Fennec is abusing his moderating abilities to ban anyone with has-been hotel spoilers.
Yep, that's what you do.
Okay, I mean that's fair. I think there's one episode out that I haven't seen yet.
I haven't seen any of the new season yet because I want to watch it with Saki, and we haven't had a chance to because we're watching Shangri-La Frontier right now. So I haven't caught up yet.
Well, it's okay. First season was better.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, so raising money for charity. Also, I'm sick and fucking tired of Windows. Yeah, have you heard the thing where Microsoft is bragging that like 30% of their code is written by AI now?
No, I haven't seen that because that would be a stupid thing to brag about.
That is a stupid thing to brag about.
We are incredibly happy that our coders lack skill.
They must make line go up, and investors like AI, so we say AI line go up.
Can't wait for that fucking bubble to pop.
Yeah, so what's happening is they keep pushing updates that like there was an update a while ago that would if you closed Task Manager with the X the way most people would close Task Manager, it would close the window, but the process would still be running in the background, and you could end up with several instances of Task Manager just running for no reason.
That agitates me because there have been more and more programs that have been doing that, where like Xing out the program moves it to the bottom
system tray, yeah.
And it agitates me because like if I'm closing something, I'm probably trying to lower the amount of resources that my computer is utilizing. I'm trying to speed the computer up.
So go the fuck away. Yeah, they also pushed an update that caused a bunch of people's computers to do that BitLocker thing, where it's like, no, we have detected a change, and so to stop your computer from being stolen, we've locked it up, and you have to log into your Microsoft account with another computer to find this massive, annoying to type out BitLocker key in order to get back into the thing.
Which again, like I don't even see the fucking purpose of that. Not for 99% of people.
Okay, that happened to me with a laptop that my partner bought for work. We just bought, like, she doesn't need to do much. All of her stuff is web-based, so she just needs something that can run a web browser. So we bought a cheap laptop. Within a month, it locked us out because of the BitLocker thing, which what that is supposed to be. My understanding of the BitLocker thing is that it's for a laptop, and it's to prevent people from just like grabbing your laptop when you're not looking and then swapping out the hard drive so they can run their own version of Windows on it, and they just got all the rest of the stuff for free. Which makes sense. You don't want someone to just be able to swap the hard drive out and then use your stolen laptop with no consequences. But the problem was, because we don't like Microsoft spying on our every move, we don't sign into our online accounts. And so there was no BitLocker key. There was no way to recover the BitLocker key for that laptop. So it became a guinea pig of mine. I'm now playing around with Linux. So that laptop is 100% Linux, which that gets you around the BitLocker thing.
It does. Just putting a different OS on it does technically solve the problem.
And I have no doubt that now I could completely wipe it again and put Windows back on it, and it would be fine. So like, it's not like the BitLocker actually did anything except for get rid of all the data that was on the thing.
I guess it's one of those. It's the equivalent to having a really bad master lock, where like most people look at it and go, "Okay, well, that's too much of a hassle for me to deal with." But anybody who knows what they're doing will just go, "No, I have like a billion ways to get around this shit."
This that guy that does YouTube shorts where like most of what he does is just hit the lock really hard and look, now it's open.
This is a Master Lock 9000 series. It can be opened with a Master Lock 9000 series.
Yes, that guy. So yeah, I am dipping my toes into the Linux ecosystem. I will never be fully free of Windows for a couple of reasons, but yeah, most of my everyday working stuff is done on Linux now.
The amount of times that I hear that like there's something that somebody can't run or they've had to do some type of workaround to run on Linux has been enough of a reason for me to not touch it
Yeah,
outside of having a dual boot into Ubuntu.
that's why I'm dual booting, because well, first off, for doing my Meathead Mondays, that involves me editing old Adobe projects of mine, and nothing Adobe plays nicely with Linux.
Mm-hmm.
So that, like, basically, like, when I did the looking into for that, the answer was Adobe hates Linux. This will never be available. They're like, okay, I will always have to dual boot as long as I'm doing Meathead Mondays, because I can't. I'm not going to open my Adobe projects with something not Adobe. And also streaming. The Go XLR, there are ways to make it work with Linux, but not the way I like. The reason I use the Go XLR is for the multiple audio, like it shows up in Windows as multiple audio devices, so you can control different audio volumes or whatever with physical sliders or whatever. So like if my music gets a little bit too loud, I can just adjust the volume there, and it only adjusts the music volume because that's the only thing going through the music channel. And it doesn't touch anything else. You can't do that with the Linux workaround for it, so like
At a certain point, it just becomes, hey, my workflow is less of a problem when I use these other things that are built for my workflow.
Yeah, so basically for streaming and for doing Meathead Mondays, I will log into Windows, but for everything else, I'm on Linux. But one of the fun things that I've found about the Linux community is they're like, first off, it's very welcoming in the sense that everybody's like, oh yeah, you finally made the switch, yay, good for you, that's awesome, or whatever, yay, woo. But then as soon as you run into an issue with something, it becomes just get good. What's your problem? Just get good. Why can't you do that? It's like,
just get good at Linux.
Because like one of the issues I had was like the music I listen to. It's on a network drive. The music player that was recommended for Linux that I've been using, it can see the network drive and it can add stuff to your library from the network drive. But if you restart the computer, it doesn't like the system doesn't automatically mount the network drive the way Windows would. And so like, you open up if you open up the music player before you mount the drive, then it's just like, oh, yep, your media library is empty now because that path doesn't exist anymore.
Even though you know for damn sure that it's right the fuck there.
Yes. So that's yeah, and here we go. Here we go. This is okay. Oh, that can be done via editing etc/fs tab. Yeah. You know what's not helpful to someone who doesn't know what the fuck fs tab is? Saying, oh yeah, you can just do that by editing fs tab. You know how many answers in forums were just someone saying, like, I know you're probably not doing this. You're probably like, yeah, no, this is where you need to start looking. I know, I've solved the problem. I know what fs tab is now, but like there was so much searching where like someone has pretty much the same problem as me, where so many people would just respond with edit fs tab. Like, how is that helpful to someone that does not know anything about Linux?
You have the combined problem of assuming everybody speaks the same language of design, and then also having no way to know that they don't speak the same language as you.
Yeah, but also
because that's literally what that is that's a language of design problem.
Yeah, but there's also like, I'm a tech nerd. I like to learn stuff like this, so like I had no problem figuring it out. And I have now solved that problem. My partner, if I were to try and get her into Linux, as soon as she ran into something that you had to do in the terminal, she'd just be like, no, why would I want to do this? I just want to use my computer. So, yeah, she would immediately come back to Windows.
And to be fair, same thing that I would do. Like,
also the number of people saying just edit fs tab. So I'm like, okay, so I just double clicked it to edit it, and then it's like, oh, you can't save it that way. You have to edit it by opening the terminal and doing sudo nano etc fs tab and then typing in your password so that you have permission to edit it or whatever. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's like the community wants more people in it, but they don't want to help the more people do the stuff that the more people need to do to figure out.
Community wants more people in it, but community lacks the the knowledge of how to onboard others, I think is what you're trying to get to.
Yeah. It's very similar to the Silksong community in some ways, where it's like, oh, you're having trouble with that? We'll just get good. That is the problem. You are not good enough, so just get good.
And then you have to ask the follow-up question of, okay, well then how do I get good? Do I go to the store? Do I buy it?
The difference is with Silksong, you can just play more and then you will get better from practice. But like, I can't just bash the keyboard and hope for the best.
Sure you can. I believe in you. You can just do it harder.
I know sudo makes everything work automatically, so I'm just going to type sudo everything.
Sean Helfin says, and also some of the Archie comic community. Dude, the fucking Archie comic community. I'm seeing the Archie and the IDW comic community be really fucking obnoxiously toxic right now, and it's really agitating to watch. Tangle and Whisper are making their way into Sonic games finally, and instead of just like being excited about that, there's a bunch of IDW Sonic fans that are looking at that going, yeah, that's what you get, people who like the old Archie comics that are no longer canon. Get fucked. You're just like, wait, what? Huh?
Did Archie pull a Star Wars and be like, yeah, all this stuff's not canon anymore?
No. It's a little more complicated than that. So Archie had Archie had the license for Sonic for the longest time, and then one of the people who was employed at Archie, Ken Penders.
So Archie the name of the company, or Archie the comic strip?
Archie the company Archie Comics that owns the Archie comic strip.
Okay, so it's not that the character Sonic is showing up in Archie comic strips.
No, it's that the company Archie
I
Comics.
was very confused for a second there.
Yeah. So the Ken Penders claimed that he owned several of the Sonic characters.
Conton83 says, you could get a desk mat that has bash commands with a brief explanation of what they do. Yeah, I could do that, but then my keyboard is on top of it and I can't read through the keyboard.
Axo says they added lesbians. Yes. My friend Nick did a Let's Go Lesbians post and got a bunch of people mad. Anyway, Ken Penders said that he owned a lot of the Sonic characters. Sega took him to court. Sega also subsequently took Archie Comics to court over it. Archie Comics said, well, we can prove that Ken Penders doesn't own these because our contract says that when he makes characters under us, we still own them as a company. So, Sega would still own those characters effectively. And then they couldn't produce the contract in court. They failed to produce the contract with Ken Penders, and when they failed to produce the contract, a bunch of characters kind of defaulted to his pseudo ownership, sort of, where like if Sega wanted to fight about it in court, they could win, but it would require them wanting to give a shit about original characters that are not from the games that they can just make new characters to copy over instead. So at the end of that ordeal, Archie Comics broke their relationship with Ken Penders because they were like, well, we want to still have a relationship with Sega. We want to still be able to use the Sonic IP. So we're no longer going to have Ken Penders as one of our writers and no longer one of our artists. So then they had something called the Genesis Wave, which erased all of his characters that he had like claimed legally. He erased all those characters from existence. It's the same thing that like DC did with New 52. But
you say that as if I know what the fuck that means.
New 52 was the big DC Comics reboot. Anyway, after all of that, eventually the license for Sonic for Archie Comics ended up no longer being in their hands anyway, and the license went to IDW Publishing, the people who do the Transformers and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics. When they got a hold of it, they got a lot of the writers from Archie who had been commissioned by Archie to do the Sonic comics. They just brought those writers in to reboot the entire franchise under IDW. But it also means that characters that were made for Archie comics are not in the IDW comics because they are either legally held by Ken, or Sega just does not want them being used because they do not want there to be any crossover with the older comics distributor anymore.
I sometimes wonder about our audience.
Yeah?
Because, like, we have, like, I don't know how many people are watching on your end, but I've got, like, 90 people on my end that all just sat through me complaining about Linux and then sat through you complaining about Sonic legal lore crap.
Mhm.
And it's just like, what kind of people are interested in our conversations?
Yeah, where's the crossover between those two groups?
Apparently, it's got a heavy crossover with people who like to draw furry porn. So, yeah.
Gideon says used to do Transformers, now Skybound has the rights. True, but they still do TMNT. As far as I know, IDW still does TMNT.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I meant to talk to you about. So there was a you were streaming. What's his face's stream, complaining about Mamdani winning, um, and how like conservatives have been talking about like, oh, the rich people are all going to flee the city, and it's going to be terrible. It's going to be anarchy. It's going to be pandemonium because they're without the rich people. It's the Atlas Shrugged wet dream. If all the rich people leave, then society will crumble. Um, but what's really funny about that is I want to say it was the Daily Show, but I don't remember for sure. But there was one of those comedy news shows that put together a compilation of it was almost exclusively Fox News hosts every year going back from now all the way back to 2009, every year saying like, oh, New York is about to, like, all the millionaires are going to leave New York, all the rich people are going to leave New York, they just shoot themselves in the foot with all these people are going to leave New York every single year going back to 2009. And then they finished it up by showing a updated news report from 2025 which explained that the number of millionaires in New York City has doubled between 2011 and now.
Even though they keep on saying that they're going to,
Yeah, every year they're all going to leave, and yet there are more now than ever.
Yep. But you get an audience of gullible idiots, then
yeah, and most of whom don't live in New York, so they don't know what it's like there. Like if you own a business in New York City, like you own a coffee shop, you know how hard it is to start a business in New York City. If you own that business, you have that location, you have, like, you're not giving that up just because the taxes went up a little tiny bit.
No, absolutely not.
Like, that's prime location in, like, any, like, ask someone, like, where do you think would be the best place to open a business of, like, almost any variety, just from a location standpoint.
If you can have a business survive in New York City, you're likely going to stick around until the next COVID pandemic.
Mm-hmm. I hate that you said that like that.
But am I wrong?
No. But
because
anyway,
when I think of major events that would cause somebody to not have a business anymore, the COVID pandemic ranks pretty high up there.
It does. Yeah, it does. Although a lot of Republican businesses got those PPP loans while simultaneously saying we shouldn't be giving all this money away.
Yeah.
It was one of the Jimmys, or maybe it was the John. Are we talking about Jimmy Johns? Are we talking about that guy who, wasn't one of them, like, didn't one of them, there was something crazy. It was, I might be completely off base here, but it might be, I feel like it's something like had sex with a dolphin or something.
Oh, that was I think that was the owner of Jimmy John's.
Yeah, was that the owner of Jimmy John's? Had sex with the dolphin?
He was either the guy that did the sex with the dolphin scandal or the dude who did the like laying naked with the giraffes or some shit that he had hunted scandal.
Snopes.com. Who is the naked man in the mystery shark picture?
That might have what you're looking for, maybe, or it will have terror.
Yeah, well, it's not letting me open it because I have adblock turned on.
Stop says, "Do not the dolphins."
Oh my god!
I agree.
Oh my god! There's a picture with it. I mean, I read the headline saying there was a picture, but I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to see this guy's ass hanging out on Vice.com.
You knew it was gonna be there, but you didn't know it was gonna be there.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on?
Uh, it's Jimmy John Liataud. No idea how to. So, a spokesperson for Jimmy John's told them that the person in the photo is absolutely not that guy.
Uh-huh.
Which makes me think that it was.
But that's, that's what they would have said no matter what.
Okay. In his statement, he said, "I choose to hunt and I choose to fish. Everything I've done has been totally legal, and the meat has been eaten, if not by me, then by someone I'm with." That doesn't say you didn't fuck the shark. Unless it's specifically illegal to fuck a shark.
Man, you were wondering where the crossover in our audience was.
Stoff, do not draw a picture of the guy from Jimmy John's fucking a shark. Oh my god.
Also, you remember when you said line go up?
Yeah.
Okay. Just have you seen the line go up artwork?
Specifically regarding us?
Yes.
No. Is this stuff that is in your NSFW Discord channel?
It's in my regular art Discord channel.
Okay, send me some pictures.
Okay. Let me grab that real quick.
Where does the line go up?
That is none of your business. But you'll know here in a second. We kept on telling Axo that this was 100% a penis.
Progress only says, "I just wanted articles and posts, but I suffer the sideshow." Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you with all the stuff that we...
There you go.
I'm getting Spaceballs vibes from it.
They are Schwartz's.
Yes. I mean, the Schwartz also had the hand there, but you know what? That's safe enough for work. I can show stream. Let me save it. Boop. Line go up .jpeg. Add an image. Not make it visible. Do that later. Oh, you know what? Let's go to where we'll actually be able to see it. Nobody's donated yet, so I can just cover over the donors. There. Line go up. My line's going up in the wrong direction, though. That's when a graph has the line that way, that would be line go down. My line go down.
It's just your perspective, that's all.
Okay. Line's still going up.
Line's still going up.
Hi. How was your call? I'm so pretty. She says I'm pretty. I'm really pretty when the line goes up. Somebody donate to Project Share already. Come on.
We should also probably...
I refuse to move on to the news until somebody donates to Project Share.
If we want to actually get people to donate, perchance it would be a good idea for us to be entertaining.
Why would we do that? I offered to answer embarrassing questions if they donate $50 or more. Or was it $100? I forgot.
You don't even know the criteria of your own show.
No, because nobody pays attention, so they don't do it.
Oh my god.
I know how it works. Kitsune Cavalier says, so not invest in stonks, invest in skunks instead. With the little skunk emoji. Skunks are adorable, but please stay away from my dog, because my dog will chase you. And I don't want that. None of us want that.
Skunks are very cute. Axel just says line dicks go up.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I guess we'll do the articles.
Okay.
I'm not good at holding out.
I guess we'll
I am a Democrat at heart.
You're not good at holding the line?
No.
All right. Let's go, Schumer.
I caved. God damn it. That was so depressing. Why the fuck did they do that? Okay, back to forget those news stories. Why the fuck? Why did they cave? They had Trump's old wrinkly balls in their hands and could have squeezed them. But instead they like slurped them up.
If I were to take a guess, especially considering that it was people like Fetterman who considered themselves they considered themselves Democrats, but consider themselves more beholden to a purple state than anything. They're not looking at Democratic leverage. They're looking at people not getting SNAP benefits and getting angry and saying that's...
Except the people who cave just happen to be the people who are not up for re-election in 2026.
No, there were 6 people who caved who were up for re-election.
In 2026 specifically?
I can double check, but like
no,
I know that
think
there was
the soonest one is in 2028. So they're hoping that it's far enough away.
Let me see here.
And like there were like leaks from Schumer's office that this was orchestrated to be the people who are least likely to lose their seats over it were the ones that were selected to cave.
Oh, okay. No, you're right. The earliest one is 2028.
Yeah.
Because we can't like primary Fetterman until later. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So they picked the people who, you know, the news cycle is going to have this out of everybody's consciousness by the time they're up for re-election. So
that's maybe a little infuriating.
A little? Yeah, no, it's super infuriating. It's infuriating enough that it had me talking about Trump's sweaty, gross balls.
But yeah, by the time this goes up into the news cycle again, or by the time they can be reelected, nobody's going to remember this specific government shutdown.
No. So this is what I have been saying this whole goddamn time, because I know like a lot of people are being like, oh, this is why we don't want Democrats, so we're going to go third party. No, don't fucking go third party, because your system is not set up in a way where a third party has any chance of doing any fucking thing. So what you do is you primary the fuck out of these motherfuckers. You show them that there is a price for this. You show them in the primaries that the base wants to go progressive. If you want to have your goddamn career to be a politician, then you need to play to the progressive base that wants this shit. And then when push comes to shove, whoever the fuck is not the Republican, that's the one you vote for in the final. But you gotta show up for the primaries to make your voice heard, because it has been working. It pushed Biden more progressive than he otherwise would have been. It carried the fucking elections last Tuesday.
Sarah Chigarita says, I'm tempted to break my policy of staying unaffiliated just so I can vote in the primaries. I'm actually curious, what's the utility of having that policy? You get to vote for the least likely candidates to ever get in the primaries. You don't get to change the way that either party elects their representatives in said primaries. The only vote you are ever allowed to get now is the one that says that you know, are voting the lesser of the two evils. Like, that's the only vote that you get. I'm just trying to figure out what's the utility of that stance. What has it classically been?
I don't know, but like, that's the way you are going to affect bigger political change in the states with the system that is in place is with the primaries.
Hello. Sarah says, I'm unaffiliated because I don't want either party condemning me for voting outside their line. Why do you give a shit? Why do you care? Why does the opinions of other people who do not know you matter to you?
For 50 bits, don't vote third party, clean the dinosaurs and cowards out of this one. Absolutely. Get like maximum age for serving in Congress or the Senate. If you're 65 or older, it's time to retire. I know that's going to get rid of people like Bernie. I'm okay with that. That is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Sorry, Bernie.
Sarah says, if you belong to a party, they expect... Yeah, but who is they? Like, who's the they that's going to be sending you a letter in the mail saying that they're severely disappointed in you for not voting a certain way? Like, I'm sorry, that just doesn't fucking happen. That doesn't happen. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Yeah, if you think you're going to get more utility, that matters. The opinions of hypothetical people don't matter to me.
Your vote is supposed to be secret.
Yeah, like I
say supposed to be because there are ways that they can.
Yeah, there are certainly ways to get that information, but
okay. We got a $25 donation from Anonymous, so thank you for that.
Bravo, thank you for the 50 bits on my end. Said age and term limits need to be a thing now. Schumer needs to retire. Agreed. I am of the opinion that after 65, I would be okay if any politician at all, at any level, were forced out of their seat, and new blood would have to come in. And they can still work in government. They still can have like a paid mentorship role if they want, but
it should be expected that the policies that you are enacting, you are still going to be alive when the long-term consequences of those policies come into effect. So like these people that are like they're not doing anything about climate change, well, of course they're not. They're going to be dead in 25 years. And that's going to be before all the worst shit hits the fan.
Also, Sarah says, I usually vote straight D except in local where sometimes I vote third party. So like, here's the thing. You are a person before you are a political party. And if anybody at all tries to criticize you for that, you literally just say, I am a person before I am a Democrat. Like, you need to view me as a whole holistic human fucking being before you view me as a tool for a political party. And also, that's an entirely useless statement because, again, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we got a donation, so I held the line.
You did! Congratulations. You're better than our Dems.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was bringing them up that allowed me to hold the line because fuck them. Fuck them. With a fucking spike-wrapped baseball bat.
Oh, but see, if you say that, then the entire right wing is going to say that you are fantasizing about violence, and they're going to pull your personal text messages to frame you as that.
Okay, well, first off, I am fantasizing about violence. Second off, I've said much worse on the stream than I've ever texted anyone. So...
Oh, I understand. I'm just talking about Jay Jones. If you've seen what's gone on there.
Is there another text message leak?
Text message leak from a Democrat who said that the only way to get a Republican to move on policy position is for them to like experience actual pain. Like, they will not move unless they have experienced pain. And
that is just a true statement, though.
Yeah, that's why like I was responding to Tim Pool. And he was talking about how this evil Democrat was fantasizing about the murder of children of a Republican. I'm like, that's not what's going on there. He's just explaining a functional reality of how people operate. People usually don't do things until it becomes a pain point for themselves that they have to actually deal with.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so on to the news. We're talking about the Epstein files to lighten the mood a little.
I can't wait, because the Epstein files still haven't been released. It's been a couple of emails, which is not the same thing.
But they've been very spicy emails.
Well, let's see what we got. Let's see what we're looking at.
Here's the thing. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the emails, because it is fascinating to watch all these people respond to this in real time. But the Trump administration is like having meetings with their higher-ups to discuss what to do about this Epstein situation. With the House is going to vote on releasing the files, so like they're doing damage control stuff for this. It's like, this meeting is not necessary if Trump is not guilty.
Did you see that the people behind Cyanide and Happiness posted saying, holy shit, Donald Trump, of all people, a pedophile? Wow, a shocker. I had no idea. How could this have happened?
Oh, yeah.
Just like, they're so tongue-in-cheek. I love this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so top Trump administration officials were planning to meet Wednesday about an effort this meeting has happened by now, about an effort in the U.S. House to force a vote on releasing the case files related to Jeffrey Epstein. A meeting is absolutely not necessary if he's not guilty. A spokesperson for the Justice Department declined to comment, and the White House did not immediately return a request for comment. So they're not saying anything about it. Justice Department files, which captured years of investigations into a child sex trafficking ring, could include details the House hasn't obtained.
Wow.
Yeah, and the controversy around Epstein and his contacts with other powerful people, including Trump, has divided the Republican Party in recent months, with Boebert being among the Republican House members publicly pushing for more transparency around the case. That's what happens when you make fighting against child sexual exploitation the thing that gets you elected. People are going to want some follow through on that. Like, these are the Pizzagate people. These are the people that went into a pizza parlor that didn't have a basement, wielding a gun, and demanding to be shown the basement where all the kids were being kept.
Yep, these people want follow through.
Yeah.
It is what they are, it is who they are, and it is the base that not only did you cultivate, it is the base you created. Because make no mistake, the QAnon movement largely would not exist as an apparatus if not for the whims of people like Trump in the first place.
Are you suggesting there might be some astroturfing going on with that?
Ooh, maybe.
Seems likely. So Boebert, Green, and Nancy Mace have all signed on to the petition, along with the representative who is finally sworn in. Cowardly Mike Johnson couldn't postpone that anymore.
I'm gonna throw out there for people in chat who may not know, because like the term astroturfing gets used a lot, and I think some people might not actually know what it means, but it's making a false impression that there's something that is like widespread, infectious, and problematic that everybody needs to be on board for, but it's not fucking real.
Well, it
didn't happen.
The most strictest sense of the term, it's so everybody kind of knows what a grassroots movement is. So it's called astroturfing because it's fake grass. So it's a billionaire or three that are funding, like, it's the fact that PragerU is funded by the Koch brothers but pretends to be speaking for the people.
Mm-hmm. It's widespread. It's organic. It's real. Trust me, guys.
Oh, Fascinator. Haven't used the Fascinator in a while. I say that every time I put it on. And then you say...
No, I don't.
Well, you always have before now. Koch brother, singular. Yes, I'm sorry, I misspoke. There's only one now.
Rest in piss, bozo, for the other Koch brother.
We do have a couple more donations to check. So we've got Otter O says, I don't know the whole story behind the Rat Gang, but I'm for it. It's the Sexy Rat Pack. You gotta watch my Friday videos. Okay. Here's too short right now. I don't know what's going on up here, but the Fascinator is not cooperating. Someone donated $20 anonymously to say happy holidays to you, your family, Surasaki, and all the other viewers. Thank you for that. But it's Merry Goddamn Christmas.
It's Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Yeah. So yeah,
line
thank you for that.
Go up.
We are
probably.
We're trying to make the line go up. We're at 22:15, and if we get to 26:55, I put on the Rhino onesie.
See, Marie says the Koch bros trying to influence Alberta and Canada.
I am not surprised. That is the logical place to try in Canada. Okay, so yeah, they're forcing a vote on releasing the Epstein files, which I feel like the same people that voted on the petition are going to vote to release. So I feel like that is going to pass no problem. Like we finally found a bipartisan issue.
Yeah, turns out child predators is a bipartisan issue.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it?
Oh, Heidi's sad. I say I haven't used the Fascinator recently. Heidi says neither have I. He likes to dress up and be pretty and go out places, but we don't have anywhere to go. We live in a little podunk town where nothing happens.
Yeah? You can go to a card shop.
Yeah, so I took my kids to a card shop yesterday.
Yeah?
And they were running they didn't have any tables for us because they were running a Beyblades tournament.
Okay.
And that was the only card shop in Niagara Falls. And so then we came to Fort Erie to the card shop that's here. They closed at 7 p.m. It's like, okay, we could sit down and play a third of a game of Magic.
I'm not going to lie, I've been noticing more shops lately that have these really early closing hours, and it confuses the fuck out of me. Because, like, as a nerd, my waking hours are are not conducive to store closes at 7 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, nope, it doesn't make any sense. Olivia Williams says they are behind the separatist movement in Alberta. Yeah, that surprises me not at all.
Fantastic. So let's see here. So you said that some spicy stuff has already been uncovered in the files. Is that alluded to in the article at all, or?
I don't know. Um, so yeah, most of what the article is talking about is how so first off, the way this petition is happening almost never actually passes if the leadership of the House is against it. So the fact that this actually passes is kind of historic in and of itself. Um, but also the Caroline Levitt said, so she defended the administration's effort to block moves in the U.S. House to try to compel the release of the Epstein files, arguing that the administration is committed to transparency. Because clearly transparency means not letting you see anything.
I mean, it's what they're going to say as a default, pretty much universally. We're committed to
Yeah.
transparency. Okay, what does that look like?
Yeah, so this doesn't talk about the
We're
spicy
committed
stuff.
to it.
But some of the spicy stuff in the emails, the main one that I've been seeing is there was one talking about how Trump was in Epstein's house with one of the victims. That her name was redacted in the actual email, but the press secretary just full on said her name at the press conference about it. So that is all kinds of fucked up. But basically, Trump was in Epstein's house with a known victim of Epstein alone for several hours, and then this was an email between Ghislaine and Jeffrey talking about how like, oh, Trump is one of the dogs that doesn't bark.
But he's a hit dog who's barking right now.
Yeah, well, so the spin that I've seen on this from the right is that like, oh, Trump is actually the hero here because he's the dog that doesn't bark. He did not fall for the trap. Clearly that victim was bait and Trump did not fall for it, because that's what dog who didn't bark means. It couldn't possibly be referring to the thing that dogs are mostly used for, in barking to show where a thing is.
So he's the
By
think
not barking, he's helping them hide it.
I do think that it's referring to the a hit dog always barks. Like that's what I think that they're referring to.
I am not
specifically
familiar with that.
Okay, so the term a hit dog always barks or a hit dog always yelps is that people do not react unless you have successfully struck a nerve. So like the Trump administration reacting and having to do all kinds of planning because of the files potentially being released, that is the hit dog barking. They are the hit dog. We successfully hit. Yeah, Sakura says a hit dog will holler. Exactly. It's a hit dog will holler, a hit dog will yelp, a hit dog will bark. Like it's just the point of a person having a reaction to a thing is indicative of them being hit.
So what would it mean in the sense of like he was alone with someone I am sex trafficking for multiple hours and he didn't bark? How would you interpret that?
How would I interpret it?
Yeah.
So there's two ways to look at it. The way that you mentioned, the one where this is a person who did not squeal effectively, which would be really fucking shitty. And then there's the other way of looking at it where, oh, well, he wasn't actually one of the people who was causing harm to this victim. That's why he didn't respond. That's why he didn't say anything. He didn't know. That would have been the way that I would see them trying to spin that.
Yeah, I don't think that really makes sense, because like that doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would be discussed between Jeffrey and Ghislaine. That would be like, I don't know. That doesn't strike me as the plausible one.
Okay. That's entirely fair.
Especially given the reaction of like calling damage control meetings about how they're going to deal with the files.
Yeah, at that
When,
point
like,
they are the hit dogs who are in fact barking
yeah.
because they're calling damage control. That's the fucking Yelp. You don't call damage control unless you think there's some damage to be done.
Yeah, okay. Well, shall we move on to the next story?
Oh, I thought there was going to be more about the Epstein thing. This is
No,
the thing that
I didn't want to
we've
spend too much time on child abuse.
I understand that. I also understand this is like the big thing that people have been clamoring for.
But this is also, it's an actively developing story. So, like, there were still new developments happening as I was putting the stream together, and like, I don't want to jump the gun and say something untrue.
No, that's entirely fair.
So
that is entirely fair.
We will probably cover
I'll
this in more detail next week.
Yeah, it would be a real shame if we had to say, like, I don't know, something weird like Donald Trump's a pedophile and then find out that maybe that's not entirely true. Except
I mean,
that one I'm willing to hang my hat on.
The evidence points where it points, man.
Yeah, the evidence points where it points, and the evidence is
the
unfortunately
hit dog's hollering.
It would be weird if we had to say something controversial like the president of the United States is a convicted rapist.
Yeah. I mean, he's not criminally convicted, just civilly liable.
But he is, in fact,
a convicted rapist.
A convicted rapist.
Yeah, that is a true statement. God, do you remember back when fucking the tan suit was a big deal?
Yeah. Look, I remember when sexual scandal in the White House looked like Bill Clinton getting a blowjob.
Yeah.
Not a fucking rape case.
Yeah. If the glove fits, you must arrest. I'm not sure that that's quite how that went.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Speaking of acquitting...
Oh...
Sandwich Man.
Yep,
is acquitted. This was sent to me by Mark Fernkopf, but yeah, we briefly touched on this last week, I think. I know I've talked about it. It turns out
we can actually call them hero sandwiches again.
Yes.
There goes my hero.
So a former Justice Department employee who threw a sandwich at a federal agent during President Donald Trump's law enforcement surge in Washington was found not guilty of assault on Thursday in the latest legal rebuke of the federal invention. It is unclear whether or not he was peppered. I'm sorry. It's an assault charge involving a sandwich. How can I not?
My only concern, though, is that what level of fucking white do you have to be to only use a salt? You should be using a little more than that. Come on, your food deserves better.
Yeah. I told you about the white people hummus at BajaCon, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. It was so confusing because that's not what hummus looks like. Anyway, this was sent to me by Mark Fernkopf. So the Justice Department initially sought a felony assault indictment against him, but the grand jury, which the saying has been since long before this happened that a grand jury will indict a ham sandwich. And the grand jury failed to indict the thrower of the ham sandwich because there was not enough evidence for a felony thing. So she lowered it down to a
misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Yeah, she lowered it down to a misdemeanor, and that's what finally got charged. And then the jury was. I mean, like,
yeah, if you're sitting there trying to do a full-on assault charge for that, I'm just gonna because it was at a fucking officer, right?
Yeah.
There is no point in time where I can look at that officer strapped up with all of their fucking gear and not call them a pussy at that point. I was assaulted. So, yeah, maybe your ego.
Did you see any of the documentation about this, about, like, the officer's testimony and everything?
No, I didn't.
Oh, so like part of it was like he was talking about how like the sandwich exploded onto his vest and he smelled like onions and stuff and mustard the rest of the night or whatever. And then the defense just got up and was like, okay, but we watched the video and the sandwich is still like firmly in the wrapper when it's on the ground, so no, it didn't explode on you. But like that was his thing, is that like, oh, I had to smell onions for a couple hours. It was the worst. I'm so traumatized.
I'm sorry you had to smell onions. I have to smell onions when I make butter chicken. You're not gonna call that fucking assault.
It depends what you do to the butter chicken, man. You do it well.
I think I
do. You do
well,
it like Little India in Toronto, because that is the only acceptable butter chicken after I've been there.
You know what?
So
when we are no longer
good.
under the Donald Trump administration, come over to my house and I'll make you butter chicken. You can figure out for yourself.
No, we are under the Donald Trump administration. You need to flee the country, come to my house. You can make me butter chicken, and then I will take you to Little India, and we can try their butter chicken, and we'll see whose is better.
It sounds like I just need to get enough money to get a plane ticket at that point.
I am... Now, sirs, don't take this the wrong way, but I am willing to bet that the actual Indian people from India make a better butter chicken than the white guy from Georgia.
Okay, it's not that I disagree with you. It's not that I disagree with you. It's that I'm always up for a fucking challenge.
Okay, there we go. As soon as you get enough money, you come visit. And then overstay your visa or something.
Terran Ambassador says plane ticket, there are flights again? Not right now.
yeah, fucking right. Flights. Ah. Have you met Cirrus? He's going to drive. He's going to drive that shit.
That is what I usually try to do.
Yeah. Oh.
Now
you could make it a tax deduction, because you could make one of those vlog trips about what it's like to road trip in an EV.
Oh, I went to go do a fucking video with a content creator that it's the whole trip was tax deductible. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, okay. Oh.
I was driving and got inspired. Tax deductible.
There we go.
Fuck off with that shit. I am in a creative industry and I will abuse that because I don't have enough money not to.
Yeah. So I like Janine Pirro's statement on this. She said, "As always, we accept a jury's verdict. That is the system within which we function. However, law enforcement should never be subject to assault, no matter how minor. In other words, we accept the jury's verdict, we just don't accept the jury's verdict." Like, that's basically saying we recognize that legally we cannot continue to pursue this, but we want to continue to pursue this.
They should never be subjected to assault, no matter how minor. Okay, but should they be allowed to assault other people? Because currently the system we have is that they can. Like, one of my big problems with how we view law enforcement is that law enforcement is allowed to kick your teeth in, and you can't do anything about it. Like, that bothers
thank you for
me on a
redeeming the
deep
hydrate,
personal level.
Agamotto, but I don't have any water on me. I'm sorry. But I'm also not drinking beer, so I'm not actively dehydrating myself. Yeah, no, the fact, like, I saw a video a while ago. They were talking about that crazy contraption that police have now to, like, it's being advertised as a safety thing in order to stop high-speed chases. It's like a scoop thing that, like, they scoop a net under the back tires of the car in front of them, and it just rips the rear axle off, and so now the car can't go anywhere. And
so they're allowed to destroy your property.
Yes, but here's the best part here is that this was a lawyer putting the video together talking about what happens if my car is stolen and then the police decide to recapture the car using this method. What sort of compensation am I entitled to? The answer is fucking nothing. You need to make an insurance claim, and your insurance is going to go up because you made a claim. So they can destroy your car and make you pay more money on your insurance because of them destroying your car, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I love the system. I am a fan of the system.
Yeah, like instead of high-speed chases, we're just going to we're going to do something that if a private citizen did it to your car, they would go to jail for a very long time. And we're going to do that to keep people safe. How about you just don't chase them? Or, like, if you do chase them with a helicopter.
I've actually always kind of been concerned about the idea of the high-speed chase, because, like, as quote quote thrilling as it may be, ultimately, if somebody were to take something of yours and you want to chase them down, it feels like once you have a bead on who they are and where they are, just
Yeah,
using the fucking surveillance
you just fucking
apparatus.
back off. You got cameras everywhere. They found Luigi in a couple days. But of course, the cops aren't actually going to work that hard to. They don't care about finding your stuff. They want to have fun chasing people. And you know what's almost as fun as chasing people is destroying the car that they're in with a cool gadget that I get to play with.
Militarization of the police, everybody.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So yeah. Fuck the police with a ham sandwich.
Coming straight from the underground.
That's not mayo.
Well, are we done with the sandwich escapades?
We're done with the sandwich escapades.
Okay.
Let's see.
What we got next?
I want to end on a high note, so we've got two more stories next. First, we're gonna go to the Moody Bible Institute. This was sent to me by Alex. So Moody Bible Institute sues CPS for religious discrimination. So the Moody Bible Institute, they will, like, it's a school, it's a Christian school. They're training people to be teachers, and part of the training is in your last year you go be a student teacher. And to be a student teacher with the public school board, you need to sign a non-discrimination pledge, where that just basically says, I'm not going to be mean to people who are gay or trans or whatever. And,
yeah, that sounds perfectly reasonable.
And the Moody Bible Institute is like, that's against our religion. This is discrimination.
But it's just asking you not to discriminate. That's all it's asking you to do.
Yeah, it's discriminating against us. If you don't let us discriminate, that's discrimination.
Just don't discriminate. You're allowed to hate everybody. It's okay.
There are so many fucking statements that they put out that are like so close to actually being true things that are actually reasonable, but it's like in the opposite direction. This is why it makes sense that you're not allowed to do what you're doing. So, like, the Moody's doctrinal statement opposes same-sex marriage and only recognizes two genders. And CPS student teachers and vendor agreements include non-discrimination language. And they say that would prevent Moody from employing only those who share its religious beliefs and agree to comply with its standards of Christian conduct. Like, okay, you don't need to. You don't need to. So here's the thing, though. Like, this is an issue with private schooling. As one of the risks when you go to private school, especially private post-secondary school, is what happens if it turns out that school was not completely on the level, and then you graduate and you have credentials that are not actually worth anything.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what they're saying, that, oh, it's not fair to the students because they have done this program and now they're going to the third year thing, and they can't do part of the qualification, so now they're not qualified teachers. And like they're saying, like, oh, there's a shortage of teachers right now, and you not letting us discriminate against people is harming the children. Won't somebody think of the children? Like, okay, but if you were actually concerned about the children, then you would maybe just put your discrimination
not bully
aside.
the fucking children.
Like, don't make bullying children part of your core beliefs that, you know, make it impossible for you to sign this non-discrimination statement.
Yeah. Just don't harm the kids then. Like, that's, it's super easy.
Barely an inconvenience. Yeah, so they say Chicago desperately needs more teachers to fill hundreds of vacancies, but public school administrators are putting personal agendas ahead of the needs of families. So personal agendas like your desire to discriminate against gay people, as opposed to just being like, hey, no, we only accept applicants who are not discriminating or not openly discriminatory.
Taryn Ambassador says bad things happen when right-wingers think about children. Yeah, maybe don't think of the children.
Yeah, don't say. Yeah, and of course this is all being this is being spearheaded by the what is it, the ADF? Yeah, the Alliance Defending Freedom, which
Okay.
I think one of the most amusing things I've ever heard regarding the Alliance Defending Freedom was on one of Frank Turek's podcast episodes. He was it was an episode I responded to where he was giving people advice on how to like if you're ever called into one of these DEI meetings and you're told you need to give in to the woke mob or whatever as part of your job, then here's ways you can ask, like here's questions you can ask them that'll get them thinking or whatever. And it's like very clearly anyone who asks these questions in such a meeting is just going to get fired. And so he finished it with like, oh, if they do fire you for that, you can go with the ADF. They're a really good organization. They really help Christians out. And then he like had an aside where he heard it, where he's like, they only help Christians out. I wonder if that is an issue here. Sean Helfin, thank you for the hats. So then he followed it up with like, oh, I would assume that they help non-Christians that are in similar situations as well.
He like
Yeah,
has to stop for a second
yeah,
and think maybe he's the baddie.
Yeah, no, he almost had that moment where he stopped and he was like, hey, it would actually be really fucked up if they didn't help non-Christians. And so like I searched for him, like, okay, you know what, Frank, this is a podcast. You could have edited that. You could have like researched that and edited it out if it was not true. You didn't. You chose not to. You left it in. So I'm assuming that they're going to help non-Christians. So I started searching for it. The only thing I could find regarding the ADF and anything non-Christian was the time when they were defending a Christian adoption agency when that Christian adoption agency refused to let Jews adopt children. So the only time they did anything with non-Christian stuff was when they were discriminating against the Jews. So much for Judeo-Christian values, I guess.
Yay.
But yeah, so ADF, not a great organization. So naturally, they're spearheading the Moody Bible Institute's desire to discriminate. It's just the tolerance paradox. Like, oh, you're not tolerating my intolerance. That makes you intolerant.
I don't think people understand that. Like, obviously, within our audiences, right? There are people that do get that. There are people that understand that at a base level. But it seems like you always end up needing to explain that to people.
Yeah.
It's like, what happens when the only people allowed to have their stuff said without any pushback are the intolerant? What kinds of people are you going to have left? You'll have the intolerant left. And you'll have the intolerant left. But you'll only have the intolerant left. And if you only have the intolerant left...
Sean Helfin says, I don't understand that paradox. So, yeah, basically, the argument goes that, like, if you refuse to tolerate my intolerance, then you are not tolerant. So if you want to be tolerant, you have to tolerate my intolerance. But the problem is that if you actually take that to its extreme, then it ends up at a point where only the intolerant people will have a say in anything.
Yep. If you allow the people who are intolerant of the Jews to have their way, then you will end up with no Jews. So you have no Jewish voices. Yes. If you allow the people who are intolerant of the gays to have their way, then you will have no gay people and you will no longer have their voices. And now when you are trying to think of something and try to figure out, well, how is this going to affect our gay community? Well, you don't have one because you ran them off.
Yeah.
People who like to say that you need to tolerate their bad behavior, they say that either because they're very stupid or because they know that their behavior will lead to the community that they do not like being ran off, and that is the goal.
It's like, did you see that trad wife who got fired from the organization that she worked for because apparently being a trad wife is just like, it's not an actual thing. It's a thing that it's astroturfed. Like that's almost an exact definition of astroturfing. Like the trad wives are supposed...
we don't have a lack of trad wives. We have a lack of other options besides tradwife. That was what feminism was arguing
Yeah,
against.
yeah, no, but this was a tradwife content creator who got fired for using the N-word on one of her streams.
Oh, okay.
And then her response to that was to then do a stream by herself in blackface. And
So you just leaned into it harder.
yeah, and then in another stream, she came out and she explicitly said, "My goal here is to be so extreme that when people see the dog whistles, they don't think anything of it. They think that's just a reasonable position because I'm used to seeing the person in blackface saying the N-word. So when someone talks about the urban people not having high IQs, that doesn't immediately raise red flags."
I mean, yeah, she's trying to do the death
Like,
of a euphemism to allow more room for the euphemism. That's what she's
yes,
doing.
exactly. Um, and she just came right out and said it. Um, so she's basically self-sacrificing for the sake of racism. Could you imagine that being your legacy?
Yeah,
Like, God, how disgusting of a person do you have to be for that
it
to
would
be?
be a very sad legacy to leave.
Yeah. Um, okay.
Like I don't
Anyway,
I don't particularly care that it's disgusting because the person who you're responding to likely also doesn't care that you call them disgusting. I think I more just pity them. I think it's more sad than anything.
yeah, it is. Okay, I promised we'd finish on a high note. So you remember 1 Million Moms?
Yeah, all 12 of them.
Well, I mean, there's about 10,000 of them.
You're
Their
right.
petitions
13.
get consistently 10 to 13,000 signatures. Still a couple orders of magnitude off, but they're getting there. So they have a problem with Wheel of Fortune now.
Of course they do.
Wheel of Fortune is no longer family friendly.
Okay. What's their argument for that?
They have a puzzle category called What the Fun.
What the fun?
Yes.
They censored the F word and said fun instead.
Yeah,
Something that
but the F word is implied. You knew that the F word was supposed to be there.
but the only reason you knew the F word was supposed to be there was because you knew there was an F word.
Yeah, but
If you're
but now people who know there is an F word are going to have to stop their kids from watching this, and so their kids are then going to have to ask why they can't watch it anymore, and you'll have to explain that it's not family friendly anymore.
and you'll have to explain what the F word
Like,
is.
I'm not even joking. That is their reasoning. Like it quote, "It is not the show it was." Sorry, where are we? Yeah, here we go. This is unnecessary in any program, especially one marketed for the entire family. Parents will have to explain to their children that the primetime program they were once allowed to watch is no longer a clean show.
But it still is because it's not saying the
Yeah,
word.
but it's implying the word.
Okay.
I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm saying it's fucking
time
hilarious
for
that these people
Animaniacs.
Oh God.
Like, I'm sorry. We're just gonna start talking about family-friendly shows that people get mad at. There's more reason to be mad at fucking Animaniacs.
Did they get mad? Did people get mad at Animaniacs?
Yes, during season 3, people were mad that
What was season 3?
HBO made Animaniacs political.
How'd they make it political?
Have you seen Animaniacs?
Wait, yes, I've seen Animaniacs, but not since I was a kid, so I don't remember. The only clip that I've seen of Animaniacs since being a kid is the one that Kitsune Cavalier is bringing up, the fingerprints clip.
So, Animaniacs has always been political, and not in the leftist Marxist lens of like, actually it's political because blah 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 blah. No, like literally most of their jokes were talking about political figures at the time. They would make fun of Bill Clinton, they would make fun of George Bush Sr., they made fun of politicians. It's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Animaniacs was the whole time. It made fun of I believe it also made fun of Al Gore, if memory serves. I need to go watch older seasons. But when they made season 3 came out like 15, 20 years after Animaniacs was off the air. So they worked it into the plot.
There were only 2 seasons of the original show?
Yeah.
Huh. I always thought it was a lot bigger than that.
they worked it into the plot of season 3 that the Animaniacs had basically been hibernating the entire time. And so when they do their theme their new version of the theme song, we're not new version of the theme song, when they did their first song for coming back, they had to talk about President Trump and everything, and then talk about how the animation process takes time, so they can make fun of a bunch of things that Trump did in his presidency, but what are they going to do for the stuff that happens afterwards? And Yakko just goes, how does wild guesses sound? And they just start making wild guesses about what's going to happen when Amazon drones are giving you all the food you need, and the and global warming has gotten to a point where you can't go outside, but you don't care because you've got Amazon drones delivering pizzas.
I mean, if it's socialized and I don't have to pay for it, sure, why not? Don't make me bring up the beavers again. I will bring up the beavers and how creating a socialist utopia is all about making everybody go unemployed because you replace their jobs with robots.
But no, like I think you would like the latest season of the Animaniacs, and also like if you watch,
Yeah, but you also thought I would like South Park.
I still think that you would, but
it's just it wasn't funny.
So
like, I don't really like jokes where the whole point of the joke is we went like 2 steps further than you thought we were gonna go, huh?
Right, and that's been South Park's shtick for basically
like,
the entire time that it's existed.
I
has
like
never
jokes,
been that.
I like jokes that have a punchline. And like there's a clever subversion of expectations other than just like we said the more extreme thing.
Then I think you probably would. I think the new season of Animaniacs would be far more your speed.
Okay.
Because that is what it tries to do.
I will try to remember to give that a shot. And if I don't like it, I will demand that you donate $50 to Project Share.
Okay. I have $70 in my bank account right now. I guess you can have 50 of them.
Chief Burbs wants to know about my beavers. It's the video game Timberborn. It's a city building thing, but like the end game is you make robots that do all the jobs that the beavers had previously done, and it's much easier to get beavers with a higher happiness rating when you have made them all unemployed, so that they have time to because everything's free. You don't have to pay for stuff. If they're hungry, they just go into the warehouse because the robots made the food for them.
Content just reminded it's not that the new Animaniacs was the 3rd season. It's the new Animaniacs has 3 seasons. Sorry, original Animaniacs has more seasons than 2.
Okay,
I was incorrect on that.
And Heidi is saying no, you can't know about it. I'm assuming you don't want me telling people about your beaver.
You see that right there? That's an Animaniacs joke. That's what.
Yeah, that's all of their jokes had 2 layers to humor. It. No one said you can talk about your beaver on stream. I can talk about what I want on stream.
And then this is the part where Yakko Warner pops up and says, "Hello, nurse."
Hello. Yep. No, that's a little bit problematic there. But I still remember it being a funny show. Anyway, okay.
Melody says, "Good night, everybody." Yep, that's also the we have done an adult joke. Haha, is the "Good night, everybody" line.
Yeah. I don't know. I still like Fingerprints is a classic. Anyway, let's move on to tweets. Someone donate money to Project Share. We've been sitting at 22.15 for a long time.
We're stuck at 22.15. We'll never get to 10:30 unless you donate money.
Heidi says, remember who you sleep next to. Your child! I've been up since 4 in the morning because there was a child in the bed. So that's who
Sean
I sleep
Elvin
next
said,
to.
everybody in chat is reminding me that actually, no, it's the "Good night, everybody." The "Hello, nurse." So "Hello, nurse" was also used for adult humor, but it was specifically more aimed. You're right. "Good night, everybody" was used. Man, I need to go rewatch the whole fucking show. Fuck all of you. Fuck off.
I thought "Good night, everybody" was just the end of the episode.
No, "Good night, everybody" is the signal that they've... "Good night, everybody's" the signal that they did an adult joke that has sexual innuendo.
I just remember being proud of myself as a child when I recognized Les Miserables being performed in Animaniacs. I think that was the dog. The big low voiced dogs, slow moved. I forget their names. Anyway, tweets.
Anyway, tweets.
Tweets. Bridget Gabriel. Oh fuck! I forgot to make him visible.
It's not. What tweets?
Well, that's the thing. It's supposed to automatically select the next Earth view window if it can't find one with the same name as the last month's thing, but I don't know. Anyway, Bridget Gabriel says, if you own your home, you shouldn't be paying property taxes on it, period.
I agree. No, I actually agree with this one.
Really?
No, I agree. If I own my house, which I do, I am sorry, I should not also have to pay an extra amount of money for simply living in the damn thing. There should not be a point in time.
We found the intersection between Surus and libertarians.
No, like this. So I believe that the taxes that are currently that property taxes are currently used for should come out of other means. I do not believe
Stoff wants us to get the Rhino onesie. If we get the Rhino onesie, they'll draw the shark art anatomically correct. So if you want to see Jimmy John's fucking a shark as drawn by Stoff, donate to Project Share.
Yeah. Shitty Bob says property tax should apply to investment properties. Yeah, like I am more okay with that, but I'm not okay with the idea that if you have you have a house,
I disagree.
I don't fucking care. If I have a house and I happen to lose my job and lose my ability to have income, my next prospect should not just be homelessness because I can't afford property taxes. I'm sorry. No. Absolutely fucking not. I think it is already hard enough to get people housed to begin with.
Yeah, okay. You're not wrong. However,
okay.
What is your proposed alternative for how municipalities are funded?
Sales taxes within the area.
That doesn't cut it.
How so?
Well, because then you just end up with a system where like if there's a place with a lot of houses that still needs roads, but there aren't a lot of stores there, they're not going to have the money to maintain the roads. They're not going to have schools there.
Okay, so then alternative. Why is all of this handled only on the local level? Why is this handled not at the state level?
Because at the state level, it's too high up where like the local level actually knows that there's a pothole on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the guys at the state legislature have never been to your little town, so they don't even know that Main Street exists, so they don't know that the pothole needs fixing.
So what you're doing is when somebody says capitalism is bad, and I do not like capitalism, and your response is, oh, well, what would you propose that works instead? Well, it's not my fucking problem. My problem is I see an issue, and I am calling an issue an issue. I am seeing people who have houses, who have to pay thousands of dollars on taxes on them, who also don't have income because of being fucking disabled. And I have watched them stress about this shit every August to November.
Okay, but it sounds an awful lot like you're... Because when we're talking about capitalism as a system, it's always... No, we don't want capitalism to be the system, but it is the system, so we need to work within it in order to affect whatever changes we want.
Understandable.
So how do we affect changes in property taxes without... And also, like, maybe this is my privilege showing, but so my property taxes are usually around $2,000 a year.
Okay.
That's less than $200 a month. And even when I've been unemployed and collecting unemployment insurance, I've never been concerned that I won't be able to afford my property taxes. The mortgage? Yeah, sometimes. The property taxes? No, they're basically nothing.
Right. And that is an opinion that I would have expected from somebody who is, like you said, coming from more of a position of privilege. I've never had this problem, therefore it's not a problem.
Yeah, but so... My thing is that, like, I have been on social assistance in this situation where and property taxes have never been on my radar. So I mean, maybe my position of privilege is just living in Canada where we have a better social safety net. But I feel like our unemployment system kind of sucks sometimes too. I don't know. That's
So in Georgia right now, let's see here. Let's see. I'm trying to see everything that's specifically in Georgia that property tax pays for. Because
well, I also recognize that there are issues with property taxes paying for schools because that's how you end up with the like
that's how you
the
end up
poor
with
people have the
underfunded
poor
fucking
schools.
Yeah, and that's also how you get the poor people have the poor roads. That's how you get the roads that don't get fixed up
So I
because it's
recognize
where
that
the
there are
poor people
issues with
live.
the system.
Yeah, let's see here. I am not seeing a thing where it says what the property taxes pay for. Everything I'm seeing is how to calculate your property taxes. I don't give a shit about calculating my property taxes.
I want to know where my tax dollars go. God damn it!
I guess I'll just look at a federal level then. Let's see here. Public education, public safety, so operational cost, salaries, and equipment of police, fire departments, road maintenance,
Yeah,
health and social.
I'd be okay with a lot of that coming out of something other than property taxes.
Funding is often provided for local health departments, social assistance programs, and other related services. Funding goes to parks and recreation. General government operations. This includes funding for general administrative services and special purpose districts. Many areas, portions of taxes go to special districts that provide specific areas like water sanitation and flood control. So what I'm not seeing is why this money can't come from another avenue, like a sales tax. Like I'm not seeing why it can't come from there.
Sales tax is a regressive tax, though. Like trying to make it up in sales taxes essentially charges poor people more again because the rich people are buying stuff in bulk. They're paying less price for it overall, so they're paying less taxes in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, it's the Vimes theory of boots or whatever.
Understandable.
So you end up with similar issues if you switch it over to sales taxes.
So I understand that. So the concern that I've seen, because I was actually, when I went to go pay my property taxes this year, I went with another person, just happened to be a person who goes to the same card shop as me. And he was paying about $4,000 in his property tax. Mm-hmm. My property tax was closer to $800 this year, if memory serves. And when we were talking, he was like, "Hey, it's not that I don't have the money, obviously. I just would rather not feel it. If it was done from sales taxes or something that is far more invisible, the same way that taxes get taken out of a W-2, then it would be less of a problem."
So here's the way it's typically done here is if you have a mortgage, your property taxes are usually rolled into your mortgage payment.
That is not what happens here.
Okay. I know you can do it otherwise. I have been in situations where I've had to make property tax payments. But for the most part, if someone has a mortgage, then the property taxes are just like, so like for me, it's like $160 or whatever added on top of what my normal mortgage payment is. So I don't actually have to pay like $2,000 in one go.
Yeah, for me, it was for the mortgage that I have, it was completely separate. And again, for a lot of the people that I've talked to, it's just been a separate thing for them in general. Like, see, one of my friends owns a decent bit of land out in Alabama, but does not have it rented out to anybody. It's basically property that came down to him from family, and he ends up having to spend like $8,000 on fucking taxes on it. Like, I don't like that system. I think that we should have a better system.
Yeah, but I don't think sales taxes are the better system.
True. I
think property taxes is better than sales tax.
So I can admit that I do not have the expertise to propose the correct way to fix the problem. And I don't fucking care. I also think it's a problem. My lack of expertise in that does not make it suddenly not a problem that me and people here have experienced.
Okay, but you know what? We can just point the right wingers to this conversation because there are two leftists just disagreed with something on the internet. We're still friends afterwards.
Yeah.
At least I think we are.
No, I hate you.
Fucking capitalist pig dog suggesting sales taxes. What the fuck is wrong with you? I want divorce. Anyway, there was a response to this one that I thought was kind of funny.
Okay.
This person says sales tax on homes. Oh, it's Patrick Stewart, but not that one.
Okay.
Sales tax on homes, buyer pays one time, and you should only pay taxes for schools if you have kids that use them.
No, I disagree with that at all.
Yeah, that last one. I figured we would be on the same page for the last one at least.
I don't give a shit if I don't happen to go on a particular road one day. My taxes should still pay for that road for other people to use. Just like even if I don't need my money to go into my healthcare today, I would still rather that my money that gets paid into taxes go towards people's healthcare, because I also want, when I get older and need more healthcare, I would like that pool of money to also be available for me.
Yeah, well, there's also things like this whole you should only pay taxes for schools if you have kids that use them. That's very like, I don't benefit from it unless my kid is going to that school, therefore I don't want to pay for it. But here's the thing, like, you benefit from other people's education all the goddamn time. When you go to the
from
doctor,
people being educated.
When you go to the doctor's office and they diagnose you with something and then prescribe something to fix whatever problem that was, you are benefiting from that person's education going back all the way to elementary school and like even preschool in some situations. So like to say my kids don't personally benefit from that, or like I don't have kids so I don't personally benefit from that, therefore I don't want to pay it, that's just asinine.
It's an arrogant position born of ignorance.
Thank you for the hats, Agamotto 13.
And like, don't get me wrong, I also have an arrogant position born of ignorance, my position on property taxes. But
anyway. Oh. Did the number go up? Did the line go up?
Yeah,
line went up.
Saying that taxes are how society pays for itself. Again,
yeah. We got $10 anonymously. Thank you, Anonymous.
Not once has my argument been against taxes. It has been against a form of taxes and how they are utilized and how that feels.
Yeah, but we both know that taxation is theft.
Actually, you know what? I'm willing to bite on that. I am willing to say that, yes, taxation is theft.
That's why all the millionaires are leaving New York City. They're going to go to their own valley with blackjack and hookers.
I would like to raise you that some theft is ethical.
Okay.
I'm
theft
willing
from billionaires is very ethical.
Yes, I'm willing to go into the taxation is theft idea and just say, you're right. Taxation is theft
is a moral imperative.
Taxation is theft and Robin Hood was based. Next question.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Fucking Ragnar the Pirate. Sorry, I'm thinking of Atlas Shrugged again. Ragnar the Pirate was the pirate who literally stole copper from the masses to give it to the rich.
Alpha Mario says Cirrus will later say that some murder is a moral imperative. So I'm not saying that that is the case or my position, but I think we are all united on certain positions about what we should do about healthcare. That's all.
Yeah, something Mario Brothers, I don't know.
Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. I haven't seen the trailer for the new movie. I need to see that.
Oh, Mario's such an asshole.
In the new trailer?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Like Bowser does a nice little, I mean, it's a little creepy. Okay, fine. I get it. But like Bowser does this painting of like himself and Princess Peach. And he's like holding it up to Mario and Luigi, being like, so what do you guys think? And he's like clearly looking for some positive affirmation. Luigi's like, oh yeah, it's good. Yeah. And then Mario's like, I hate it. You fucking suck. You are the worst, you piece of shit. And like he just looks so sad after that. And it's just like, oh, I know he's
I know
The
he's
bad
the
guy.
king of
I know
evil,
he's the
but
bad guy, but come on, he's cute.
I think
He's like this big.
I think when somebody's a king of evil, we should at least respect their painting so that they don't go do a genocide
Yeah,
later.
exactly.
I feel like the last time we didn't do that, we got post Weimar.
The fictional version of Robin Hood. In real life, he just got lucky to rob from an unpopular king. Actually, there is a very good argument to be made that Robin Hood never actually existed. There is no historical core to the man. It was just all 100% fiction.
He's all apocryphal.
Yeah.
But I would also like to raise that some of the realist stories, in terms of people, social dynamics, and lessons that we teach our children, are also of people and places that have never existed.
And let's be real. How many people had their inner furry awakened by the Disney Robin Hood?
About as many has had their inner furry awakened by the Sonic the Hedgehog TV show.
Really?
Yeah, no, there is an entire
like the one from the
dedicated...
90s?
Yes, Sally Acorn specifically. Just an entire generation.
I watched that show as a kid. I don't remember it being particularly provocative. Sally Acorn. What does she look like? Okay, yeah, I guess I can see it.
Like, so in the Sat AM show, that's the show that had her. The name that people have given it now is Sat AM because it was the Saturday morning cartoon version of Sonic. Sally Acorn had her story expanded in the Archie comics because of, well, the show ending. The show only had a couple seasons, and so they continued the story in Archie. And when they did, over time, they started progressively drawing her with more human anatomy and with more human features as time went on, to the point where she just had breasts that were technically covered by her having a blue jacket positioned directly over where both nipples would be. But, you know, it definitely spoke to some people.
So here's the thing: the Disney's Robin Hood. This is one of the things that should have been a hint to me. Is that, like, I get it from the perspective of looking at Robin Hood,